Aaron May.
All right, everybody, welcome in. Once again, it's Aaron May. We're with Extra Rvrb podcast here, and I have an unbelievable guest for you today. Her name is Heather Welch. She is a cancer survivor and now a massage specialist, among a million other things that we're going to dive into. I want to let her give you the details. Heather, thank you for being with us.
Hello, good morning. My name is Heather Welch, and I have a neuromuscular massage studio and yoga studio in Sarasota, and that's my background. I've been doing massage therapy for 28 years, and there's so much to my story. I have decided to become a true entrepreneur after being a solo practitioner for about 20 years. I opened up my own studio and had a team of people join with me, people that I had known and that I think are amazing practitioners. And then, then there was a pandemic where you can't sell human contact, and then I got cancer where you have to stay home. It's been a big adventure. It's been a big ride. And somehow I feel the calling to continue my entrepreneurial struggles,
Sure.
however hard they may be, because the idea of what it is that I'm trying to build is a project from the heart, and there are things that I think that I can bring to my industry that are unique. So I'm a tough cookie, and I keep blazing forward regardless of the obstacles.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I was really happy that we were able to connect, and through a mutual friend, Titus. Really great guy. I had him on the show, actually. He's got an amazing story, too. And he's kind of in that health and wellness space in a capacity. He's gone through a lot of things as well. What's y'all's connection? With him?
Oh, gosh. Just, I have a space. Okay, so my yoga space is used for workshops also. We rent it out for different, there's a trunk show that's going to happen, like a fashion show thing in a bit. We've got sound baths, all kinds of yoga classes. We've had things about sacred geometry and all kinds of stuff in the space. And so he and I first connected about him using my space to do some of his offerings, which
awesome.
We haven't done that yet, but I'm looking forward to it. Titus get scheduled. And so he is doing some of my marketing now. He's helping me with some of my online stuff, because I do try to do some of that myself, and I do try to make my kids help me, like we were talking about, but he's the one that's going to make everything stay running smoothly.
Very cool. That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
He's a really great guy, really supportive of everybody, and that's awesome that you guys are connecting on that. I want to backtrack a little bit. You mentioned something that I don't think I caught before. So you got cancer after COVID happened? Is that
okay?
that recent?
Yeah. Let me try to put together the timeline. Okay, 1996, I became a massage therapist. 2019, I decided to my kids had graduated high school, which was, I was a single mom, 20 years. I raised my kids all by myself.
Mm-hmm.
And so I did massage while they were in school, and I was available to them when they weren't in school. And so during that time, I thought of all kinds of ways that a massage business should be run differently than wherever it was I was working, or things like that. Just what we do. I came up with my own idea of how I think things should be done. So I finally pulled the trigger on that in fall of 2019.
Okay.
And I got a space, and I hired my team, and I got my things started, and we just started ramping up when there was lockdown. And that was, I don't even really want to talk about it. It was so hard, and it was so disgusting, the way that every time I would open back up, we would get shut back down. And it was so hard. And I had amazing clients. I learned a lot about how wonderful people can be. I had people who would come in and pay me for massages that they did not get because they didn't want me to go out of business. Like, the community supported me.
That's awesome.
But it was really hard. And so then we came back, and it was kind of off season when we really got to swing back in. So it was just hard. And I finally got everything running, okay? And it was December, and I was shopping, and I had all kinds of bags, and my front door to my house is really, really heavy. And I don't know how I did it. There's babies in the house, and there's a child lock on the door. And so the long story short, I broke my finger. I slammed my own finger in the door.
Okay, jeez.
And as a massage therapist, I just sat down on the floor and I cried. And I was completely heartbroken. And the next day I thought, okay, well, I had to take 8 weeks off. No massage. Let me go get all my doctor's appointments done. Mm-hmm. Breast cancer, stage 2. And I guess maybe I knew I was sick a little bit. I probably already knew I was a little bit sick. Mm-hmm. But then I had treatment. So I missed around 11 months of work. Just the massage. I kept going in. I'm one of those people where I look back and I think it's crazy, but I taught yoga the whole time. Almost the whole time. I guess there was a couple weeks where I couldn't. But yoga is such an amazing healing space for me. You can actually sit down on the floor and teach a class and make them do things that you're not doing. So I learned how to do that. But yeah. And now, and I'll talk about my team and all of the stuff that we did, if you want to talk about that.
Absolutely.
But my cancer journey was pretty amazing.
You feel like doing the yoga attributed to being able to beat it, and more so,
yes,
than
but
just treatment alone?
Among other things. So first of all, I'm going to say that I was crazy strong and healthy when I was diagnosed.
Sure.
So I didn't go into it with a struggling body. I was very strong, and I can be very disciplined with my just self-care, right? So when I got diagnosed with cancer, my best girlfriend is a master's in integrative medicine, and she's a licensed clinical herbalist. Okay? And she's been doing my herbal protocols for years. We've done all of the, she's done all my methylation panels and food sensitivities, and I've been doing that stuff with her, just her and I, for years. She makes me an herbal tincture specific to my body like every month. For years, long before I had cancer. My brother is really good friends with Tony McEachern from Team Tony, which is a local cancer fighting organization. Okay, so my brother's been riding on the front of this racing cycle bike for Team Tony Cancer Foundation for years. I volunteered for them 16 years ago, 18 years ago, whatever.
That's awesome.
Okay. And then one of my other best friends, she's a gym owner, and she has a personal trainer that works for her that had just gone through cancer exercise specialist certification, which I didn't even know that was a thing.
Yeah.
So, and then the girl that does our sound baths, who I love so much, is married to Dr. Matt Biagioli, which is my oncologist. Okay, I knew he was an oncologist, but he was my sound bath girl's husband. My friend, he'd been on the table.
Oh, how about that?
So I texted him and I called him and I said, hey, I've got this diagnosis. I need you to help point me in the direction of who could be my oncologist because I'm going to need one. And he said, well, what do you need? And I said, well, really, I just need someone who would work with my herbalist because I don't do things the normal way.
Right.
I like to kind of build my own.
Right.
So he just happened to have been the chair of GYN oncology at Moffitt and just moved here. So I put together a team that you just cannot beat.
Sure.
And so
awesome.
I did things differently, and I'm not ever going to advise anybody really at all. Massage therapists don't do that anyway, but I can always tell people who my team was, and I feel very successful. I feel like I went through that journey efficiently and quickly, and not that I'm trying to downplay it. That was horrible. It was horrible. I thought I was going to maybe die. It was awful. But I had this amazing team, and I had a teammate at Team Tony. That's what they do. And now I have been trained to be a teammate. Mm-hmm. So I can match with someone and be their teammate. And that just means support. Wow, okay. It's not advice. It's just support. Here's what I did. This is what other people do. These are things I've heard of. So that's a whole big thing.
That's awesome. And you've kind of integrated that into what you do.
So I am a neuromuscular massage therapist. I'm certified in all kinds of stuff. I'm double certified in Thai massage, active fascial release. I've got lots of Ayurvedic certifications, Chinese meridian therapy certifications. There's a bunch of other things that I'm missing. And then, in the yoga world, it's the same way. I have a lot of cool trainings that I just picked up because I want to learn how to do things. And so, you can kind of combine that perspective, just
Sure.
to become a little more helpful. So when I was out with surgery, they took some lymph nodes. I had some surgery, and I was ill, and I had radiation. So I became certified in post-op massage, breast cancer massage, lymphatic removal massage, lymphatic drainage massage, oncology massage. These are all trainings that are like the ones I was kind of talking about earlier, where it's just online. None of those are hands-on. And but luckily for me, I've been doing massage a long time, and I have a lot of clients, and so now I've worked on people who've had lymph node removal and are in all kinds of stages of cancer, and so I'm available to do that now. It just, I guess I like to make some lemonade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. And you've said it a couple times now, and I see that kind of as a theme. I know with myself and other people that I meet all the time, entrepreneurs, on doing things differently. I do things different. I like to do things a certain way, right? And so that kind of goes back to, there's a couple things. We're going to backtrack a couple times here because there's a lot I want to unpack here. It's a lot very interesting. The first, when you said that, okay, you just wanted to start your own thing in 2019, you were working for another massage studio, and that was pretty standard. Now, and obviously the entrepreneurial mindset is in you because you're looking at that going, I would do these things differently. Mm-hmm. What was the tipping point? Was there a certain instance or a moment where you said, I can do this myself? I kind of learned through this the ins and outs. Is that what happened? Like you learned the ins and outs, and then you said, I'm going to take what I've learned here, and I'm going to make these improvements based on what I think, that the way I think things should be done. What was the tipping point there? Was there a moment? I mean,
No.
When did you decide to pull the trigger on that?
So it went more like this. Like a chef that works in a bunch of restaurants. Mm-hmm. Okay. So yes, I have worked at Massage Envy and Massage Heights and those kind of places, but I've also worked for some amazing entrepreneurs. Okay. So the background is single mom, massage therapist, or any sort of solo entrepreneurial thing. The formula is that you also want a W-2.
Oh yeah.
Okay, right? So I've always had my own office, and I've always worked for someone else. And my life revolved around my kids, which is school years. So a lot of times I would switch, over the summertime, I would switch my W-2 job.
Okay.
So back originally, I worked for Anna Molinari on Palm Avenue, who I'm actually, I still do a lot of work with her. Okay. She's more like a friend now. That was 1996, right? Okay. And then I worked for another amazing local entrepreneurial spa owner, and actually most of the really cool salons and spas around town, I've worked in them. And I think they all do amazing stuff. And it's more like I took stuff that they did that I thought was cool, and I tried to keep that with me.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, certain things that each one of those people did where I thought, okay, I don't want to forget that this is a good idea.
Right.
And then definitely when you work at the chain places, here's what I got out of that, is go into the break room and listen to what they're complaining about. Mm-hmm. And there are themes,
great idea. I
okay?
like that.
And there's I have a list of the top 10 things that people complain about in the break room of a massage establishment. Mm-hmm. And those are the things that we don't do.
Got it. That's great. Yeah, absolutely.
So
that's
this
awesome.
was the way. It's more, for me, I'm like, I want to cultivate a team. Mm-hmm. And actually, we were joking the other day, one of my clients and I, who is a horsewoman, and I grew up as a horsewoman. It's been a long time since I've worked in that world. I have been an equine massage therapist and worked in a professional stable. I've worked on horses too, but that's been a long time.
I didn't even know that was a thing.
It is a thing. And so I kind of run my business like a stable.
Okay.
You know,
interesting.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Who gets their inspiration from how they run a performance horse stable? Me, right? You know, and
Yeah.
so I've had a lot of unique ways of looking at putting my team together, and the point of what we're doing. Why are we doing it the way we do it?
Well, I think you hit on something important too for a lot of people, whether they're building a team or they have a team, is when you, by listing complaints and thinking, well, we're not going to do these things because people don't like these things.
Yeah.
And especially when you're building a team, I feel like when you focus on your team being happy and loving what they do,
getting better at it.
Exactly. They're going to want to get better
Yeah.
at it. So their performance goes up.
Yep.
And when that happens, that's only good for business, right?
Yep.
Because when their performance, people go, they're obviously like what they're doing. Because if I walk into a place, no matter what it is, and people are unhappy, they're usually rude, or you can just, it's bad energy in there. You're like, I don't know if I want to go back there. And you can, whether you're subconsciously knowing that or not, people operate like that all the time. Like if you have a bad experience someplace, what do? You have a bad experience at the restaurant. I'm not going back to that restaurant. I don't care how good the food was. The service was terrible, right?
Yeah.
So I think that's very insightful for people listening. Is if you're building a team of people, or if you have employees, prioritizing their happiness definitely takes the business up a level, or it is what propels it forward.
If you, let's say you came in to Unwind for your massage appointment, and your therapist, about 10 minutes before your appointment, got a call saying that there was an emergency and they had to leave right now. And you walked in, and I said to you, Erin, I'm so sorry, but so-and-so had to leave. I have this person available, or maybe you could come back later and see this other person. The massage therapists that were there would be like, oh, you're so lucky. You get to go see so-and-so. Like, all of the people that work for me, we all recognize how amazing the other people are.
That's great.
You're lucky whoever it is that you get. And we all know it because we all get on each other's massage tables. We cultivate growth and, I tend... Because I am a yogi and I'm so deeply ingrained in that world, I tend to get criticized for a word I love to use, which is competition. Okay? My daddy was a fighter pilot, a naval aviator.
Okay.
I like
Very
competition. Competition is now, for me, it's very much an internal thing. Like it's a good thing. It's a driving force. It's
competition with yourself,
with just life, with just whatever. Like, let's get better than what we were before. Okay,
yep.
And let's playfully try to inspire each other to do that. So I love that. That's a part of my personality. In my industry, that's not always appreciated, and
Sure.
I get that. I don't want to pit anybody against each other, or I don't want anybody to ever be the one that fails or doesn't succeed or whatever.
Sure.
But in my space, I try to kind of create a little bit of that playful competition so that we can all just keep getting better. Sure. And blow each other away.
Yeah.
I want everyone to always want to receive the services from everyone else because we want to keep growing and learning more about the industry.
Sure. And I feel like when you have that too, that's how you improve. If it's just I'm happy where I'm at and there's no improvement, you get stagnant. You could lose the passion, lose your purpose, things like that. But you see it all the time. Look at professional sports. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
Would Magic Johnson be who he was without Larry Bird? Or would Pete Sampras be who he was without Andre Agassi, right? To push each other, Federer and Nadal,
and
10
they
other
love
tennis
it.
It's dog eat dog. You're going after each other, but
it's so good.
Without it, it's like that's what gets me up. Is I want to be the best here, and I think that's great that you guys push each other that way because you're only going to get better for it, especially if you can be friendly about it, that you understand that it's not I'm going against you, and it seems like you developed a really good atmosphere there in your current situation in your studio. I'm going to go back again because I have another question. Great. Yoga.
Yeah.
On the topics of yoga, huge part of my life too. people wouldn't say it's as obvious with me, for your stereotypes, but very huge part of my life. And I know that there are certain circumstances that drew me to that and to my current beliefs and things that happened in my life that led me there. What drew you to that? Because I don't think that you're born into that, especially being an American.
Yeah.
We're not. That's just not the way. So how long you've been doing that? What got you into that? What inspired you to what was the first thing that you saw yoga and you were like, wow, that kind of brought your consciousness to where it is?
I'm so happy that you asked me this question because I don't ever get to tell this story.
Okay, I'm excited.
It's two-part. So, a long time ago when I went to massage schools really were different. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And we were taught yoga as a part of the curriculum. And we were taught yoga specifically to preserve our ability to do body work.
Okay.
If you don't want to get tendinitises or carpal tunnels or neck problems or whatever it is, if you don't want your body to wear out from massage, because the statistics are crazy. It's like after 5 years of being licensed, only 2% of massage therapists are still practicing, something like that.
Really?
And I'm at 28 years.
That's interesting.
Well, it's hard.
Is it just because they don't make it, or
there's all kinds of reasons.
Okay.
One is that just because you like getting a massage does not mean you would like massaging strangers without their clothes on all day, every day, quietly alone in a room. It's not what people think it is, I think, sometimes.
Okay.
But also, it's brutally hard on your body. Unless you're a yogi. And I'm just saying that's my opinion.
Okay.
Okay, so they taught yoga in school. So I learned yoga, traditional yoga.
Like physical yoga.
Yes, like sun salutations,
Okay.
northeast, south and west every morning before, school began. And theory and practice. Now it wasn't a full yoga teacher training, but it was a serious part of our curriculum, and we did it the whole time we were in school.
And they don't do this anymore.
Well, let's save that.
Okay.
For another time, but not that I know of. Okay, maybe they do. I don't know that they do. So then, yoga was something that I practiced in my own way for years, but I didn't go to classes. I did when I was in massage school, and then I didn't. I didn't see it that way. I saw it as something I learned to do to maintain my body and my mind so that I could practice and my energy. Okay, fast forward. My kids around 13 started doing yoga badly, and I said, okay, we're going to take a tour of local yoga studios. My daughter one time was saying to someone, yoga is this. And I thought, oh, she thinks yoga is only what they do in the class I took her to.
Mm-hmm.
So we got memberships or whatever, class packs at studios around town, and I took her to a wide variety of things. My son is a yoga teacher now. Oh, cool. So we did the same thing with him. But I saw them kind of doing it. You shouldn't say wrong. There's no wrong in yoga, of course. But I didn't like what they were saying about it. It sounded ignorant. So I fixed that, right? And that kind of got me back into practices. And then, and I love teenagers, okay? All of them, okay? And one of my friends knew that, someone who is a woman around town that knows about all the happenings. So there was a program for the Prison Yoga Project. The purpose of that was to go into the juvenile detention center and teach yoga.
Very cool.
She nominated me to win the scholarship for this. I got it. You had to go to a proper yoga teacher training to get to use it. I did that. And the program didn't last very long. There's a lot of politics in that. That's a difficult thing to sustain.
Sure.
But that's why I went. I just thought it would be fun to teach some teenagers that needed that.
Sure.
So we couldn't really do that. So I just did all kinds of things, mostly with kids. I taught to the choir, yoga for singers to the choir, and then I got a Y12SR designation, which is yoga for 12-step recovery, because I'm 13 years sober from alcohol, and
that's amazing.
I want to participate in that community if necessary. And funny enough, I don't do that either, but my buddy Andrew does it every Thursday, if anybody wants to know about that. Okay. And so that's kind of that. And then there was an opportunity for me to open a yoga space. And I like to do private yoga with my neuromuscular clients. That's what yoga does for me personally in my business, is I want to do private yoga with you for your shoulder injury that we are working on with neuromuscular massage as a way to just carry it through, show you what you should and shouldn't do to support what I'm trying to do for your specific injury. That's why I wanted a yoga space.
Gotcha. That's awesome.
And then just to add one more level to that, the person that wanted to come was my mom. So I started something called Golden Girls, which has now become this big, big thing. I love my Golden Girls. But I do yoga for these older ladies in a way where we do all the strong stuff. We do all the things. We don't restrict ourselves. We just do it carefully and slowly, and it's very empowering. And that is one of the things that fills my heart. My mother is 83 years old, and she's a yogi, and she's about probably 1.5 inches taller than she was 5 years ago.
Oh, wow.
She's strong and stands up straight.
That's great.
so yeah,
Can't
it keeps
ask for much more
going.
than that.
I just want to, I want to spread the love.
Yeah. And I mean, that's what it all boils down to, no matter what your practice is, right? Even if you're not into yoga and you're a Christian or this and that, I feel like, and I feel like that's why, for me, I love talking about yoga, and it's a huge part of my life, is because I always grew up, I'm not going to go long into it, but I always grew up with questioning religion, and we went to church. My mom took us to church and did vacation Bible school and this kind of stuff, and it was fun, and I understand the stories, and I always believed in something greater than ourselves being there, but I wasn't sold on like necessarily what Christians teach, like this has got to be it, or because there's so many different things, and I'm like, they can't all be right, or they can't all be, it can't be. And then you get into more when you look at yogas and things like that, you realize that they're all saying the same thing.
Yeah.
And it's just what vehicle brings you closer to God, right? What brings you into that love, right?
Yep.
That unconditional loving space that you're talking about.
That's it, holding space.
Exactly.
That is the most important thing that I do. I hold the space
that.
for all the practitioners with all of the ideas and all the theories, and in the yoga space, all of the spiritualities. I hold a space where there's no one that does the right thing, and there isn't anyone that does the wrong thing either.
Right. And that's the great thing about it is say, I don't really have the moral right to tell you it's wrong or right. It's personal for you. But if you don't want any part in it, that's totally fine too. That's what I love about it, because you get into like, I'm not want to step on any toes, but like Catholicism is just so rigid, and it's just so uniform, and it's this way, or you're wrong, or you're a sinner, and it's just all these different things, and I just never was sold on that. And it's something I read one time. Somebody said that's a big influence in my life was, it's important to be, and it sounds like this is what you do, that's why I'm bringing it up. It's important to just be that space for someone that if they don't want to, that's fine. We can just be here together, but I'm here for you also if you want to come up for air. And I'll be here for you if you want to do that. And if you don't, that's fine too. I'll just be here with you. It's awesome.
I think that, okay, so I've been doing this a long time. The number of people that I have spent an hour or an hour and a half or 2 hours, whatever it is, alone in a room with, that number is huge. Okay, It's a huge number. A lot of them repeatedly, right? I have a lot of clients that have come back to see me all this time. And we get to know each other. So I don't think that there's anyone of my clients that knows what my spiritual path is or my belief system is. I know for certain that there's not one of those people knows what my political opinion is. For certain.
Right.
Okay? My children probably don't know. Okay?
I understand that.
That is my greatest quality as a person, as a friend, daughter, a mother, whatever. I really do want to hold time and space available for people to be whoever it is that they are. One of my longtime favorite clients, this woman, she is the sweetest woman. And depending on when our appointments are during the day, sometimes I only have like a 1 o'clock time frame open, and she'll take it and she'll say, well, just remember that's Mass. Okay,
like
so what does that mean?
Yeah, that's
well,
sweet.
Here's what it means, is that when she's in there, she will be listening to Mass and she'll be reciting things. And at the first time it happened, I thought, well, I'm not sure how I'm going to deal with that. And then I realized, I'm just going to enjoy that. There's this beautiful person that's getting a massage while she's listening to something that's so meaningful for her, and she's reciting it. And I'm just, I get to be in there with her. It's like sharing these moments where you see who people really, really are.
Sure.
And, I do also agree with you that certain religions are way more rigid than I could ever make space for in my own heart, right? Okay, but it's such a gift that I get to experience. People bring that into the massage room. If they feel like they can, they do. And they can. I don't mind.
Why not?
I don't need it to match up with anything. The only thing in my space, and the people who work for me will tell you that I go on about this a lot, the only thing you can do wrong in my space is to say that someone else is doing something wrong, or that what you do is the right way to do something, which implies that someone else in our space might be doing it wrong.
Right.
If you say you want to drink orange juice, are you saying I shouldn't drink apple juice?
Right.
Because we don't do that.
Exactly.
That's not what we're going to do.
Right, exactly.
We don't have time for everybody to sit down and explain all of their diets and spiritual practices and politics and things. We just have to accept, we trust each one of us to be properly going through their own thing.
Right.
And there's magic there. And you know what the result is that you've got a bunch of therapists and yogis and clients who, this is the pathway to longevity. This is how you become healthy, youthful, vibrant. You can regenerate. You can overcome obstacles, is believing in your own body, in your own mind, in your own practices. Right. Feeling supported. And if there's something wrong, if there's something that's not going to serve you on your path in an environment where everyone is curious and supportive, those things will gracefully show up, and you'll recognize, maybe I shouldn't just drink orange juice.
Right.
And you'll figure it out all on your own. You don't need as much advice when you have a supportive place to just work your own stuff out, I think.
I couldn't agree with you more. It's hard, though.
Yes. Everything I said is difficult.
It's so hard, too, because that there's... Again, I'm having a hard time explaining. A better way to go about things sometimes, because people are so caught up in who they think they are and what they're doing, and it's just so hard because that there's more to it, but you have to. But I do it all the time. I'm like, I see some people all stressed out and all these things. Like, I hold my tongue even with my wife sometimes, and she's told me that I've said things that have helped her a lot, and I didn't even know that it would help her. But it's just like they're exactly where they're supposed to be on their journey.
That's right.
To whatever it is, and it is not my responsibility to expedite that. But I'm here if they want to do that. But sometimes it's so hard to be like, hey, it's gonna be okay. Like you don't get so hung up on this. It's really not a big deal. But people get caught up in that, and it's hard to bite your tongue at first. But then as you go along, the more you realize that the best thing that we can do is to be our best self. That's the best gift you can give.
It is setting an example and holding a space. And I have a wonderful, wonderful example. There's a client of mine, and he's a local business owner that's been coming in to see me every 2 weeks for probably 8 years. A couple years ago, he started going to see somebody else. Maybe it was cancer. I don't know. Anyway, for some reason, he started seeing someone else on my team. And so I would see him come in. And I noticed on Instagram, he started to post some things that were kind of woke and wise. And I was like, well, that's cool. Okay. And I am a coach. I mean, I'm a certified health coach, but I don't want to coach anybody because I really don't like telling people what to do. I don't want to have the negotiation, right? Sure. I would rather just me do my thing And if you want me to teach you how to do a specific part, that's what I like. Let me show you the yoga, or let me work on your shoulder.
Yeah.
Let's not argue about food.
Sure.
I don't like that. I don't want to talk about food with anybody. And I noticed some changes. And so I said, hey, would you ever want to, like go do an ice bath with me? Mm-hmm. That would be my version of coaching, right?
Okay.
If you're my client and you're looking at stuff and I see that maybe you need to be introduced to the guy that owns the ice plunge studio and figure some of that out.
Okay.
Then I'm just going to say, hey, you want to go ice bath with me? So, and then now we have a little bit more context, and I am behaving a little bit like a coach, still don't want to ever be a coach. But why does he feel comfortable doing that? Because for all these years where he couldn't have cared less about any of that, was busy. He was busy running his business, being a dad. He didn't want to talk about anything like that. Well, I mean, maybe he's going to listen to this, and I would say that my prediction is within a year he's going to do yoga with me. And that's going to open his mind in a whole different way. So all I did was not talk about it during his massage sessions, because I think that maybe that would have stopped the progress. Sure. Sometimes as the host, we just have to not say the thing.
Right.
We have to realize if a person comes into my orbit enough times and they want, people see me and they know I feel great. I feel great. I'm a grandma. I've had cancer. I've broken my neck a couple of times. I've had spinal surgery. That's why I did this, or the whole horse thing. I've had so many accidents and, I've been rough on my body. And I feel great.
Yeah.
I eat stuff that tastes good. And I sleep well. I drink coffee. I feel great.
Sure.
So over time, if everyone in my space has that vibe of like, we are trying to just live the good, life where we use kind of some simple things like hands-on massage and stuff like that to feel good. And people see that, and that's what they want. And I love all of the cool biohacking stuff. I mean, I have a lot of friends that are selling really cool high-tech biohacking things.
Okay.
And I love it. I also don't do most of those things, but it's only because I'm really disciplined and I don't usually arrive at a place where I need that.
Sure.
Right? I work in a space where we just practice all the self-care all the time.
Sure.
But I love all of that. I definitely love all of the testing and the methylation stuff and the custom supplementation and the ice baths and the saunas and all of that stuff. We get to kind of coexist with that.
Sure.
In a cool way.
Yeah. It just depends on the what vehicle works for what person, right? Mm-hmm. Not everybody. Physical yoga. I've tried it, and I see the benefits, but it doesn't do the same thing for me that meditating does, right?
Well, I would challenge you that when you hurt something, a shoulder or a knee or whatever, call me. We'll do a private yoga. And I'll show you what a neuromuscular massage therapist would use yoga for to help your physical problem feel better. And if you've been practicing the breathwork part or the meditation part, then you'll get it on the first try.
Very cool. Well, I hope I never have to come see you. But
I hope you get hurt and call me. Not hurt bad.
Yeah, just enough, right?
Just enough.
Yeah, roll an ankle maybe or something. Something like that.
Yes, God bless CrossFit and pickleball and love it.
Oh, don't get me started on pickleball.
Bring it to me.
Oh my gosh. Well, we're not going to go down the pickleball rabbit hole. So it seems to me in what you speak about with what you do on a daily basis, what your business is, just happens to be what you love to do, is doing those things, helping the other people. Is that at this point your practice? Or do you have something? I mean, you probably have other things that you do outside of that are considered like a yogic practice, but would you say that has become your vehicle, what you do with other people?
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, massage. So that massage, and I've had to give it up. Okay, last year I couldn't do it. Now I am a business owner with all the things that come with that, and
Yes.
it takes up a lot of time, and it's very. It makes me feel very schizophrenic to go into the massage room and then go sit at a computer. You know, that's a challenging thing. There's a lot of challenges with that, and right now massage kind of has taken a little bit of a backseat. But massage is my
That's why
art.
you're a team, though.
Right, exactly. Massage is it's my art. It's my worship.
Mm-hmm.
It's my sport, for sure. It's my creative practice. It's my therapy. It's that thing that I need to do to know myself. It's how I like to show up in the world. It's my best thing that I can do. So I don't ever want to give it up. But yeah, right now, this thing of being the host, weaving the web, you know, holding the space, that has now, there's something new, you know, and I plan on building some, I don't know what I want to call it since it's not built, trainings, something,
Okay.
a modality or a method or a pathway for me to show why I do it the way I do it.
Okay. Yeah.
You know, and for sure, cancer.
Yeah.
You know, I have things to say about that, and it's going to take me a while to put them together.
Sure.
But I have, other than just what I've said here, I have some serious things to say about cancer.
Sure.
You know, so it's all a pathway. I wish I knew where I was going, but I'm not always looking. I'm in the moment, kind of like you had said to me earlier. You know, I'm not going to miss the good things that are happening right now.
Right.
Most of the people who know me would tell you that I practice like ceremony.
Mm-hmm.
I want to acknowledge the things that are happening.
Right.
Right now.
And I think that's such a overlooked thing in our culture, our society, where people are always, what's next, just
rushing.
filling it. And it's so actually I found energizing and revitalizing when you realize that now's all there really is, because in 10 minutes it's going to be now.
Right.
It's not going to be in 10 minutes anymore, right? And 10 minutes ago is not now anymore. Now is now, right?
Yeah.
And back then that was now. So people are always looking for what's next in our culture. And I think, you know, media and social media and all these things, people comparing and wanting to get there. And unfortunately, a lot of people don't realize what the destination really is for all of us until we're there, right? And then you're going, you know, I've seen like what do 90-year-old people say? I wish I'd have been present more.
Yeah.
Right, when they're dying, like I wish I would have been present more.
Well, and what is a massage and a yoga class if it is not me taking away all of the stimulation that you have presented with yourself, so that it is just you alone with your body on a table, and you don't even have to pay attention to it. I'll do that for you.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly. You
can
can let that
just
go.
check out. Okay, but that's what we do. I mean, in my opinion, you know, and I don't want to compete or combat with any of my friends that offer these profound therapies and all of the cool advanced biohacking stuff. If you want to heal your body, or maybe mind or spirit, you already have everything you need to do that.
Right.
Why isn't it happening? Well, that's because you're not paying attention. You're doing too many things. You're taking too many things, you're reading too many things, you're Googling way too much stuff, and then you're believing what it says, which is a huge problem, okay? And then you're doing all these actions. There's all this action. If you wanted your body to be able to do what it was meant to do, you could lay down and take all that stuff away, and then your body would regenerate.
Yeah. It's an amazing thing.
Yeah.
And it's funny because I'm sure you say that to people all the time.
Nobody hears it.
And
they're not listening.
Yeah, but they sit there and nod like they already know.
Yeah.
But they're not doing any of
Right.
it, but they nod like they're on. You go, how do they know? If you know, then why are you doing it, right? Because I feel like intuitively we already do know these things, but you forget as life goes on, all these influences come in
And also, okay, it's appealing. When someone wants to sell me a thing that's cool, that could help me, that tastes good or smells good or works fast or whatever, I want to buy it too.
Sure.
I get it.
Right, yeah.
It's difficult to be disciplined. It's difficult to be... Now, nobody that goes into my house would ever call me a minimalist, but my routine of how do I care for myself is minimalist.
Sure.
If somebody wants to ask me about my cancer journey and did I have a trick or something like that, well, yeah. So every night I had a crock pot where I made a broth.
Okay.
That was put together by my friends and I of things that I would use. And I don't know a single other person who can get all that stuff, knows what to put in there, and would actually do that. Okay, but it didn't cost me much of anything. I'm disciplined with things like that. It's the discipline that is the advantage. And the only reason I can be that way is because I don't add a lot of consumerism kind of into what I'm doing. That's wellness. It's hard. It's so hard. It really is very difficult.
Right. Yeah, it sounds very difficult because you have to let people be, but also you don't want to steer them, but they're there for you hoping to steer them a little bit, but that's going to be counterproductive to what actually needs to happen, and that's got to be tricky to maneuver.
To slow down and allow yourself to regain balance.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And couldn't agree with you more. So back to your business now, with all these things, all this knowledge that we have, that we've talked about, that you have, all this experience from life experience and professional experience, where do you see, if you had your way, obviously, we want to be in the present, but it's nice to know, you obviously have a vision for what you want to have happen.
Yeah.
What is that vision? Tell me about it.
Oh my gosh. That's hard to say. It really is hard to say because it does change.
Sure.
The basic vision, okay, simple. Create a place where massage therapists or any other practitioner, okay, that aligns with what we're doing, allow people to have a place where we could work together or not. We could make a lot of money if that's what we wanted, or we could have a lot of control over what we do if that's what we wanted, or we could wear flip-flops and have tattoos on our face if that's what we wanted.
Right.
Where people can be themselves, and then also be paid your value, not have restrictions. A place where the craft of what we do could improve. That's it. Okay, so there's the vision. So what do I want to do? I want to make that bigger to encompass more things. Okay, and maybe have more locations.
Okay.
Maybe, that I think is important. I think it'll happen regardless of what I do. Another thing that we do that is my favorite part of what we do, and it's kind of a secret, it doesn't get talked about very much, but we do retreat stuff.
Oh,
so
cool.
You can call my team and we can do massage for a whole day. We can do 20 people in an afternoon. We'll bring the whole team, outside, inside, on a mountaintop, in the car, whatever. We're very
great.
Adventurous, okay? And we send people to do yoga for private locations, for retreats or gatherings. We do combined massage and yoga. We have Massage Flow, which is this crazy cool thing with massage and yoga together. We have people who do sound baths or chakra readings or kind
That's
of
awesome.
let me know what would be a good part of that, and I'll help build it.
It's like wellness catering.
It's like wellness catering. Exactly. That's what it is. We call it the retreat menu. And, is this a complete menu? No, it's never going to be complete. There's a million things on it. Like, what do you have in mind? Let's come up with something. So that one is hard to talk about. It's hard to say what it is. It's just evolved over time from clients I have that like to use me when they get everybody together.
Sure.
You know, the family's all here. What can you bring out today? And we'll just bring wellness.
Yeah.
Whatever we've got, whoever's in town.
Bring the good energy.
And that's another thing about my team and the business and the vision is one of the reasons I created it the way I did is that I have really great practitioners, people that don't want to work all the time. They're not going to be available for you every Tuesday if you want a weekly massage with a standing appointment. That's never going to be an option for them. They travel. They do cool stuff. So when they're in town, they're with me. And when they're not in town with me, I send their clients to other people. It's a different way of doing it.
Sure.
I'm just trying to make the concept of the massage practice evolved, where we can have the freedom to be better at what we do. Or if we really just want to crank out massages, every Tuesday, well, of course we have that too. There's
Sure.
people who want that. There's people who want to be fully booked Monday to Friday at the studio, same clients, same massage all the time. I want to have all that stuff. So that's what I'm trying to evolve. And it is working. It's fun. I'm seeing it grow.
Mm-hmm.
Massage therapists are not very good business people. I'm struggling to become organized and all of that.
Sure.
I have people advise me to stop having ideas because the
Oh,
bag of ideas
terrible.
is really full. It's really full. We need to make it work properly.
So you need to keep doing the ideas and delegate to more people to execute on these ideas.
Yes. Yeah. So that's the future, is that it's not something in particular that I am going to be heartbroken if I don't
Sure.
accomplish. It's more like seeing how much we could do.
Going with the flow.
Yeah. And, not or. That's my new theme.
Okay. I like that.
For the past year or so, is I'm only doing and. I'm not doing or anymore.
That's good. Uncompromising, free-form yoga massage therapy.
Yeah, exactly.
I love that.
Right. Let's see how great we could feel all the time.
Right. Not just 20, 30 minutes or an hour.
Right.
What do you want?
Well, and longevity. This is Sarasota. We're aging.
Right.
Okay, that's what's happening here. There's aging community. And, one of the secrets to me and what I do is that we are here, and I am doing massage here, and I've been doing massage here this whole time. And I have some clients that they were athletes before, and they're athletes now, and they're getting older, and I'm blown away. I'm blown away by these people's bodies. When you're 75 and you've got a six-pack in your bikini, and I'm like, okay, we're going to follow these examples.
Right.
Obviously, we can do more than we think we can do.
Oh, absolutely.
So, and I see it. I put my hands on these people, and I think, oh my gosh, how are you feeling so much better than somebody else?
Well, it just backs up into something I learned in the Marine Corps, and that you very quickly have to discover, or it becomes very difficult to survive in that environment, is, did you know, that the brains, obviously we don't use our brain's full capacity. It just would be impossible to live and function as a human being. But your brain puts your body into survival mode, as in it's just got, okay, this isn't safe, we need to stop what's happening and go into survival mode. When it's at 4%, when your body has used 4% of its capacity, your brain says, that's enough. It starts wanting you to, that's when you get that little voice, slow down, stop, 4%. But as soon as you learn to push past that voice kind of goes away. And that's where you see what you're talking about, these 70-year-old people that work out like a 25, 30-year-old person, and they're in amazing shape. And you're just like, how do you do it? They've learned that, okay, this isn't the tipping point. The human body is just infinitely unbelievable in what it's capable of. And the brain and all those things.
It's amazing. These older ladies that come to my Golden Girls, they come in and they think they can't do things. And I listen to them, and now it's kind of a joke, The new person will come in and they'll say, well, I can't, and then everybody starts laughing, because you can say that all you want. You can say it while you're doing it. You can tell me that you can't do it while you're doing it.
Right.
That's fine.
Yeah, say it. If it helps you, just say it.
Right. Tell me you can't do it.
That's great. I love that. So for the people listening that might want to get involved or come get a massage or help you or have you help them, where are you guys located?
Okay, we're downtown Sarasota in Burns Court, 630 South Orange Avenue. And we have two little spaces, and there's signs out on the sidewalk. One of the signs that was made by a friend of mine and painted by my mother. All the signs are painted by my mother or my friend Joshua, who paints. Awesome. He painted the. There's a living mural in the yoga studio that was painted by my friend Joshua, and then there's another mural in the massage studio that was painted by his dad. We like to have what I call layers of intention. So, but the sign outside, it says, "This place is magic," and it says yoga, and it says unwind.
I think I've seen that, actually.
Yep. And so it's a cute little spot. It's cozy. It's not huge. It's little and sweet, and there are layers of intention all through it. So that's where we are, and we offer literally all kinds of massage: neuromuscular, Thai massage, craniosacral, Reiki, all the things. And we offer all kinds of yoga classes, and we use the space, like I said before, to do stuff. I'd love to get some more yogis in there renting the space.
Sure.
And what else did you ask me?
Just where you guys were located.
Where we're located.
How can anybody that wanted to get involved or find you, where can they find you? Do you guys have a website too?
Yes, unwindsrq.com is the website. And we have Facebook and Instagram. There's a beautiful Instagram. It's got all kinds of cool pictures. We use a local photographer that takes the most amazing photos. And
what is the Instagram handle?
The Instagram handle is Unwind SRQ.
Okay.
Took me a second. The Facebook is Unwind Sarasota, and the Instagram is Unwind SRQ. If you go to the website, unwindsrq.com, you can fill out all kinds of buttons about, you can schedule a consultation with me for anything, and you can fill out a form because you want to rent the space. You can fill out a form to talk about which therapist would be the right person for you. We do have some packages for people if they want to come. If you're very serious about coming in all the time, we have some packages. We have a little yoga membership.
Okay, that's awesome.
And then one of the cool things that I do is every Thursday at 5:30, and I'm going to plug this because I wish this class would fill up. I love teaching it so much. This is the one. It's restorative/yoga nidra. So it's a half an hour of restorative poses, which, like I said, I'm a neuromuscular massage therapist. When I cue a stretch, it's very deep and detailed and precise. You get very good stretches in my classes. So the first half is some restorative poses, and then the second half is yoga nidra, which is yogic sleep. It's a meditation. It's a guided meditation. I would love for you to come and tell me what you think about it.
I would love to do that.
They say that 30 minutes of yoga nidra is equal to deep REM sleep. That's what they say. I don't know who they are, but they say that. It's amazing. It teaches you how to fall asleep better, and all kinds of other things. So that's my favorite one. You could come in the suit. You don't even even have to get off the floor. Okay, it's very luxy and yummy, but it's also really it's challenging to be able to follow someone's voice for 30 minutes.
Sure.
I might trick you. You might lose some space and time for a second. That's what it's for.
That's awesome. Very
cool.
So
that's it. That's where we are. That's what we do.
Yeah, I love it. I think it's an unbelievable thing, and I think you're a really beautiful person for your vision and what you want to do, and I'm in love with the whole thing. So, guys listening, check them out. If you're in town, if you're out of town and you're just going to come in town, maybe you have a vacation, right? You can get in there, get your yoga on, get your massage, and meet some beautiful people, learn some beautiful things, and connect, and it's just awesome. And to follow us, it's at Aaron Your Realtor everywhere you go. And Heather, thank you so much for being here. This was even more than I thought it would be. I just loved our conversation. Everybody, thank you for listening. Thank you for tuning in. Please like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. And please also check out Heather's company with Unwind SRQ. Heather, thank you for being here. Peace out.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to the the Extra Rvrb podcast.